Hey everybody, it's Zach with the Mighty Electron. It's been a little bit since I posted a video, but I read something on Facebook the other day that got me thinking. And so I wanted to do a little research and share it with you all. So I read a post and it was a picture and big scary letters that said, you know, it was a picture of a snowstorm and a big blizzard and a big line of cars stuck in the blizzard. And it said, do you want to be here in your EV as your battery slowly drains? And kind of all the anti-EVers are commenting, no, EVs are the worst. You're going to kill your family. And I just thought, oh my gosh, that's so dumb. But it did get me thinking, okay, I live in a winter place. Which would do better in a blizzard, an EV or an ICE vehicle? I will say in the beginning, right off the top of my head, I thought, oh, an EV. Of course, EV is going to do way better because it's not idling. It doesn't need to run the engine. You can just flip the heater on and off when you need it. Piece of cake. And this is a standstill, not moving blizzard. Okay, it's like EV's got it way beat. But I wanted to run the numbers and see. So first of all, before we run the numbers, let's talk about some different advantages and disadvantages of that situation. Again, what we're talking about is, somebody's honking their horn. Somebody's mad, not at me. Road rage. Everybody calm down, take a breath. Think something nice about your neighbor. Okay. So the situation is you're driving on a mountain pass or you're on a freeway or whatever. Snowstorm blows in, temperatures drop, and traffic is at a standstill because maybe there's an accident or a blizzard, the plows just can't come or whatever. And you're looking at you don't know how long, but you're probably looking at many hours stuck, zero movement. And then you have to continue driving to your destination. So let's start with the advantages of an ICE vehicle. So the biggest advantage of an ICE vehicle in this situation is that it's the same consumption of fuel whether your heater is on full blast or whether your heater you're turning it off and on to try to conserve energy or anything. If your engine is idling, it doesn't matter how high the temperature is, how cold it is outside, or how much your heater's on. You're going to be consuming the same amount of fuel. Now, this is also saying that your vehicle is idling the whole time. You're not turning your engine off and on and off and on. Okay? So it's an easy calculation for your ICE vehicle. Second thing is, in this situation, it does need to be taken into consideration that a good Samaritan who has extra fuel can very easily walk up to your vehicle. You say, hey, I got a baby in the back. We're about to freeze to death. They say, no problem. Here's a gallon of gas. And you're good to go, right? You're good to go for another X number of hours. That just can't happen with an EV right now. I mean, there aren't a lot of people roaming around with generators. So I think that does need to be taken into consideration. Negatives with an ICE vehicle in this situation is you got the potential of carbon monoxide poisoning. You know, everybody says that. Look, you got to be careful. You got to maybe crack a window, especially if you slid off the road and you're in a snowbank. You got to make sure that you first get out there and dig out your exhaust pipe so that you don't kill yourself. So that does need to be talked about. The second thing is you have wear and tear on your engine. In that situation of idling is not good for your vehicle. Now, is it going to totally destroy it after a couple hours? No, it's not. And there are different discussions on, well, how bad for your engine is it? Is it that bad with modern engines? All that kind of stuff. But there is wear and tear on your engine when you're idling in an ICE vehicle. Okay, moving on to your EV. The pros of your EV is, well, I would consider this both a pro and a con. There are a lot more variables on an EV as far as how long you'll be able to keep that vehicle warm. It depends on the temperature outside. It depends on how warm you want it inside. It depends on, well, actually, it's those two things. Well, I guess that's not true. Your battery pack, but in the ICE vehicle, it also depends on the size of your gas tank. So basically, your biggest things are how cold is it outside and how warm do you want it inside? So those are kind of the two main variables. Other positives for the EV, there's really not a lot of wear and tear on the vehicle because it doesn't idle. So you're good to go there. Big negative against an EV is there is no power sharing. Again, unless you happen to be in a blizzard next to a guy who's packing a giant battery, you can't share that. So that's a bummer. All right, let's talk numbers. So first of all, as always, we're going to make some assumptions. So the average ICE vehicle consumes 0.1667 gallons of fuel per hour, gallons of gasoline per hour. Okay? Again, maybe more, maybe less, but average. 0.1667 gallons per hour while idling. And the vehicle that I drive has a 19-gallon tank. It actually has a 19.1 gallon tank, but 19 gallons. So, and again, where it doesn't matter if your heat is on high or low or whatever, if your engine is running, if you're idling, you're consuming the same amount of fuel. So it's easy math. That comes out to, in my vehicle, assuming that I just topped off the tank, pulled out, get stuck in traffic, I'm done. I can go 114 hours idling. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time being stuck in a snowstorm, okay? So your ICE vehicle. Here's the deal with the ICE vehicle. It's a little more difficult because it depends on, again, like I said before, it depends on how cold it is outside and how warm you want it to be in your vehicle. So if it's not crazy cold outside, I mean, we're still talking winter storm. So if you're talking like 25, 30 degrees outside, it's snowing, you're stuck. And so, but that's still kind of warm for winter. And let's say you're going conservative mode where you don't need a balmy 80 degrees in your vehicle. Let's say you're in kind of survival mode. You're looking at like, you're trying to keep your vehicle at 50 degrees, 55 degrees, just keeping it there and comfortable. So in that instance, you're going to use about 1 kilowatt hour. And it depends on your vehicle and all that kind of stuff. But average, you're going to use about 1 kilowatt hour. If you're in a bad spot, if it's like 10 below and you got to keep that temperature warm, maybe you got kids in the car, or you're worried about sickness, whatever, but you're gonna keep your vehicle at like 70 degrees, 65 degrees. Unfortunately, and also depending on your electric vehicle, I saw reports as high as 9 kilowatts per hour, 9 kilowatt hours to maintain that environment, okay? So also the average battery size, I said 75, right? Because not all of us are driving P100Ds, but also not all of us are driving, whatever, BMW i3 with a little toy battery. So I'm saying 75 kilowatt hour batteries. Well, you do the math there. Best case scenario, you got 75 hours of maintaining heat in your vehicle. Worst case scenario, you got 8 hours. 8 hours. That's a bummer. Now, I've never been stuck on the freeway in 8 hours. I've been in some pretty ugly situations. I've never been stuck for 8 hours. But you also got to figure, once you get unstuck, you got to drive someplace, right? Like you still got to get to your destination, or you at least need to get to a charger. So 8 hours is not awesome. That's not a situation you really want to find yourself in. 75 hours, yeah, that's okay. That's doable. It's fine. But I was surprised. Again, like I said in the beginning, I for sure thought that a EV would just blow it out of the water. It's kind of the other way. Now, some of you are thinking to yourself, now wait, is that with the resistance heater or is that with the pump, the new pump heaters? This is based on resistance heater numbers. The pump heaters, numbers are saying they might be 3 times as efficient, they might be twice as efficient. let's say they're twice efficient. Well, now you're looking at 16 hours versus 150 hours. So a pretty good spread, but still, I think all in all, I mean, you could also make the counter argument of, okay, well, your ICE vehicle, 20 gallons. Well, some ICE vehicles have a 30-gallon tank. Some ICE vehicles have an 11-gallon tank, whatever. My point is, this one needs to go to the ICE vehicles. ICE vehicle for the win on keeping you warm when you're stuck in your vehicle for a longer period of time. Okay, well, that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.